Hi. I'm just going to do a quick reading this morning. I'm not really feeling like I want to be on camera, but I mean, if I just keep waiting, it's never going to be time. So I think I should just start. I'm going to use the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, which is my favorite tarot deck that I currently own. And we'll just see what we get. I'm just looking for any messages that anybody drawn to this channel might benefit from hearing today. There's a lot going on at the moment, everywhere, not just where I am. If there's a message that might bring peace or joy, answer some questions. Okay, so we've got a High Priestess. Underneath her, we have the Knight of Cups. Followed by Death. Followed by the Knight of Wands. The Ten of Wands. The Nine of Swords. And then we have the Moon card in reverse. I am also gonna just take a couple of cards from the Aboriginal Healing Oracle by Mel Brown. Don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, I found this little shell on the beach a couple of weeks ago. And the significance of this shell is to help balance the heart chakra, to expel any old negative, repetitive sort of behaviors that you might have had in past relationships. Any entities or ghosts or spirits, whatever you might like to call them, that might be lurking around your home or around your aura. This little shell here, it helps to send them on their way with love and light. It's a lot to do with letting go of old relationships and how they've always been for you, or how you've perceived that they might need to be, just because that's how they've always been. So for some of you, it might be time to let go of those patterns, so you can create space for something better. Yeah, something more productive, something that's more suited to you. So I'm just going to leave this shell here, and during the reading, the energy of that can magically come through the video to you guys if you feel like you might need that sort of clearing. So I'm just going to ask for what other type of healing might be useful for us to be aware of and to be thinking about during this reading. If anything pops out. Yeah, okay. So we've got the tawny frog mouth. Underneath it says consideration. These are a beautiful bird. All of the animals in this deck are animals from my country, Australia. The place I call home, where I was born, where I've always lived. I've traveled to about 23 countries, I think, but I've always come back home to Australia. It's where I feel safe. So I'm just going to begin with this card, actually, before we get back to the cards I pulled from the Mermaid Tarot. Because it's feeling like an old story. It's feeling like the mermaid cards I pulled look like an old story that I've pulled time and time and time and time again. And I don't know if there's much point for us going back there and rehashing that. Let's just see what the tawny frogmouth says. It might be calling on us to revisit something. So I just have to look it up, guys. Just bear with me. Tawny frogmouth. Okay. So the message with this card is merge, consideration, and risky. The tawny frogmouth is the master of camouflage, and his ability to blend and sit quietly observing his surroundings provides him with the opportunity to see things that others miss. Being the master of illusion, tawny frogmouth will adapt his pose to either blend with a tree trunk or pose as a broken tree branch, all the while knowing he is hiding in plain sight. He possesses the ability to evaluate situations while remaining at a safe distance, but keeps all this information to himself. He's an expert at secrecy. Tawny frogmouth does not share his knowledge and insights, as this will expose him and make him unsafe. There is strength in keeping secrets and respecting that others have a right to manage their business as they see fit. Sometimes, watching from a distance allows you to evaluate things from a unique perspective and provides you with an insight that you wouldn't ordinarily have been able to gain. Witnessing the bigger picture allows you the opportunity of understanding issues from other perspectives and viewpoints. While you may have been feeling that you've been excluded from decision making, fear not, it has given you an insight that you would not have gained if you were right in the middle of things. After more careful consideration, you can go ahead and make your decision and know it's the right one. You know how in some situations you come across these people that look, for want of a better word, that they're dodgy and you know it. But is there really any point in pointing that out to them? Because often when you stand up to people like that, there's a repercussion back from that. Their ego gets triggered. They feel exposed. They don't like how that feels. So their instinct is to protect themselves and lash back at you. If you expose them, they're going to respond by exposing you. And you mightn't have anything dark or evil or sinister to be exposed. Maybe the things that can be exposed about you are just truths about how sweet and gentle you are, and maybe that they can expose your weaknesses to others, and that can leave you feeling really vulnerable. And if you're already feeling in a space where you've been attacked by somebody for no reason, simply just because they dislike you and your nature for no particular reason, which happens, it happens. Not every personality likes each other. Not every personality gets along. You know, sometimes it's best to just be like the tawny frog mouth. Just become the tree branch. Just become a little bit more invisible. Let them do their show. Let them do their thing. You know, like when you come across a snake, if you just observe it and you notice it's there, but you just stop and you lower your heart rate and you telepathically tell the snake, I'm not here to harm you. You're beautiful. This is your realm. I'm in your realm. Please let me pass freely. Don't harm me. Generally, the snake will do its little show. Sometimes it does a little raise up and just lets you know, hey, I can strike at you. If you come any closer, I can strike at you. And it's just a little show, but really the snake's a little skinny little thing on the ground that you could just pick up in your hand and damage quite easily. But they have to do this show to make you feel frightened, and they're very good at it. They send those vibrations out, and you feel fear. You know, whoa, I should step back. And you know, these people like that, they're snaky. Sometimes it's best just to say, hey, I don't want any confrontation here. So scare me. Do your little thing, make me feel scared, and when you're satisfied you've done that, just carry on and piss off, basically. Hopefully that was useful to somebody. I know I've been dealing with that a bit lately, and yeah, if somebody isn't mentally capable of comprehending how their actions damage others, then they just lack that part of their brain that's capable of comprehending it. So there's really no point pointing it out to them, because they're just going to feel stupid, and then they're going to defend themselves, and they're going to try and make you feel stupid in response. So just take it as a compliment that they've unfortunately, I guess, seen you as a threat in some way, even though you never were. So peacefully go on their way. When something that's not in your highest good leaves your life, generally immediately afterwards there's space created for something that is to come in. And I tell you what, there are so many good people out there in the world. So many. There's just, yeah, for every one person who tries to bring you down, there are hundreds who want to lift you up. So just don't give up. Don't let it change who you are. So I didn't mention, I'm now just pulling one of these wild unknown archetypes. And I haven't had this one before. We've got the thread. The thread. Set that there for you guys to look at while I take forever to find it. yeah, the threads. Okay. The path, the vein, and the circuit. Life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. Our mind and spirit are lifted. We remember who we are and what we came into this world to do. Though this happens on the most profound level, it could be the simplest incident that activates the thread. A song, an image, a conversation heard in passing. No matter how confusing and multi-layered our modern lives become, if we are connected to the thread, we are free. Being tethered to it is the only anchor our heart requires. Recall a moment in your life when you felt fully alive. You got that in your mind? The thread is waiting for you amid the details of that memory. I had this happen recently. I remembered the happiest moment of my life. And yeah, now I think of it, there was a thread there that I found the end of, and I followed it to something, and I realized it was there all along. Like the end of a balloon floating up at the end of the thread, and I just had to catch it and let it lift me up, let it take me back up to my purpose. And I'm not there yet, I can tell you that for sure, but I'm certainly on my way. I like how in the image as well, there's these, it's quite dark and stormy. It's like this opening here. The arms just grabbing the thread, and you're getting pulled up. But see, there's the rainbow up here. It's pushing the darkness away. So you might need to get dragged through a little bit of this like stormy weather before you make it to the rainbows. Be brave. Be really brave. And don't give up. See, if we go back to the cards at the beginning, you are this high priestess or high priest, male or female, doesn't really matter. We are all born with this innate intuition, these gifts, you know, and we, along the way, sometimes we can get caught up in doing what other people think are best for us, and we forget, we lose our way. It's quite common. It's nothing to feel bad about. It doesn't mean your family's evil and horrible. Just they had their own things that they were working towards, you know. And as we get older, we generally get sick of all the stuff that we've been doing, and we try to find what it was we wanted when we were that little child. And you meet someone, it can be a friend, someone at work, you know, they spot you and they're drawn to the magical being inside, But sometimes you don't know that you are that yet. And this person can feel it, and they come and they're like, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so great, but you don't feel it. And you're like, go away, I'm not ready for this. And you know, chuck them out. And there's a death moment. Not literal. For some people, it's a health scare. I mean, for a lot of us, it is. That close brush with death, and you realize, you know, I've only got this one conscious life that I'm aware of currently. Yeah, there might be many more and others later, but right now this body that I'm in is the one I'm experiencing, and it's my whole reality. So if I want it to be something different, I need to make it so. And then other people come in, you know, friends, strangers. It can be anyone for you. They come in and they remind you again. They remind you, hey, I see this in you too. That other person wasn't crazy. Yeah. And then sometimes it triggers this sort of a feeling where you just become so full of despair that you've wasted all this time, that you've treated people the way you have, that you've behaved the way you have. You can feel a lot of, you can just feel really down about yourself. Just so much shame and guilt. And you can either run away from that and just not deal with it. Sorry, the dogs are going crazy outside. Or you can let it pierce you in the heart. You can feel it. And hey, this shell might just bring out that reaction in you where you feel harpooned in the heart chakra, in the heart space. Sometimes you need to let yourself feel all those feelings. And for some of you, there's been big full moon moments lately, and you know, some of you, it's turned you upside down a bit. Maybe it's turned you upside down out of this wounded feeling. Tipped it out, you're emptying it out, tipping it out, and then you're rising back up. If you're not there yet, you'll get there. Yeah? Find the thread. Think of the time in your life you were the most happy. Work out what it was about that and why you were so happy. Find your way back there. Find the essence of what it was that really is you. What your gifts are for the world. Yeah. So we might leave it there. And I will pick up with you guys again sometime soon. Bye.